captured Caitlin Clark reaction. Caitlin Clark said, K-Dub, ill. Then she said, my Aussie for life. So she definitely reacted to these players leaving the team. And it's just unfortunate, man. Just an unfortunate situation. But at the end of the day, it is part of the business. Now, something else that has made news is
the Indiana Fever just lost 2 players in the Golden State Valkyries expansion draft, and Caitlin Clark made it very clear how she felt about it. While courtside at the NCAA Final Four, she took a moment to post a public message about Chloe BBY leaving the roster. That's the kind of team loyalty that helps build a championship culture. But what makes this moment more than just a simple farewell is the deeper context behind it.
July 2025, instantly a fan favorite, instantly came in and did her job. Impactful player. I give her that. Now, she had been dealing with numerous injuries across the roster in 9 games. With the Fever, the forward averaged 4 points, 1.8 rebounds, and she played a total of 9.8 minutes a game, providing Stephanie White team with some much-needed depth. And with the number 11 pick in the expansion draft, Portland selected Bibby, leaving her off the Fever roster.
Chloe BBY signed with Indiana in late July 2024. In 9 games, she averaged 9.8 minutes, 4 points, and 1.8 rebounds per game. Those aren't superstar numbers, but they tell only half the story. Stephanie White's roster was riddled with injuries all season, and BBY provided exactly what championship teams need: reliable depth. Then the expansion draft happened. Golden State selected BBY with the 11th pick, instantly thinning Indiana's bench. Christy Wallace went to the Valkyries as well. Most fans probably forgot she was even on the roster, which speaks volumes about her playing time. But Clark didn't forget. She posted about both players leaving, calling BBY my Aussie for life. That phrase is telling. Scouts and analysts have noted since Clark's Iowa days that she builds genuine relationships with role players, not just the stars. That kind of loyalty is what shapes championship culture.
Meg, we're going to start with you. We'll go Meg, Jonathan, Mitch, and I'll work my way over.
Hey, Don, it's Meg Hall with USA Today. A two-part question for you. One, if you could shed any light on the conversation you had with Gino right before the buzzer there ended. And two, last year to this year obviously is a big swing from Final Four game. Can you just describe the emotions of last year's Final Four game losing and then today winning, and just any sort of redemption or anything that you might feel?
One, you can ask Gino the question. You know, he's the one that initiated the conversation. I don't want, what happened there to dampen what we were able to accomplish today. And the difference is experience. I think losses, when you have losses that hurt, but you really understand the why. I think UConn was a really well-oiled machine. And if you didn't have disruption and consistent disruption, and you allowed them to play as free.
Now let's shift to the NCAA Final Four moment that overshadowed the expansion draft news. Dawn Staley just led South Carolina to a dominant win over UConn in the national semifinal. Immediately after the game, Gino Arima approached her on the court. Watch their body language. It wasn't a friendly congratulations. The tension had been building for over a year. Staley's game plan was precise. She told reporters her team focused on one thing: make UConn shoot inefficiently, deny catch-and-shoot opportunities, force them to put the ball on the floor, and disrupt their rhythm at every turn. It worked flawlessly. South Carolina didn't just win, they broke UConn's spirit. Arima knew exactly what had happened, and that post-game interaction revealed a coach coming face-to-face with being outcoached on the biggest stage.
As freely as they shoot, they're very efficient and very, very good. Our whole objective was to get them to shoot as inefficiently as possible. Make them put the ball on the floor. Don't give them as many catch and shoot opportunities. And I thought our kids really locked in to that. They were scrappy. They were in gap help. They were contesting shots. UConn got back in the game and they were unbothered, right, by it.
Right.
They knew what they had to do. And I'm just proud because quite honestly, to play them the first time we played them last year, which was in February, I think, or January, and then come back and play them in the national championship game. I didn't know how we could come up with 25 points.
Here's the context everyone needs to understand. South Carolina and UConn had faced each other twice before the semifinal. In the first matchup, back in January or February of the previous season, UConn blew out South Carolina by 25 points. Staley admitted she had no clue how to generate offense against UConn's defense. They simply didn't have enough firepower. Then came the national championship game between these two programs. South Carolina lost again. Staley walked off the court knowing she had figured out the defensive scheme, but their offense still couldn't keep pace. Fast forward to the semifinal, and everything changed. South Carolina added offensive weapons, and their defense evolved into something suffocating. Suddenly, they had the firepower Staley had been searching for. That's why this win meant so much, not just beating a rival, but validating a multi-year rebuilding process.
Hey, Gino and them was beating the sleaze off South Carolina. Whatever coaching scheme Don Staley came up with today, it worked. It hella worked. And y'all just heard her say firepower, because she probably realized if we can keep up with them and shooting and scoring, we can beat them. We gonna just beat them down. And that's exactly what they did. They broke UConn down physically, but most importantly, they broke UConn down mentally. They killed their spirits.
Jonathan?
Thanks. Jonathan Tannenbaum from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Don, it is, I believe, 3 straight national championship games for you. And what is it, I think, 4 in the last 5 or something like that. And I know that each has its own story, but in the big picture, does that have meaning for you in a moment like this?
You said 4 of the last 5?
4, I believe it's 4, what is it, 4 of the last 5, I think, in the last 3 in a row.
Well, for me, I'm haunted by 2023.
But there's a deeper story behind why Arima was so frustrated after that loss. Staley revealed something fascinating during the post-game press conference. She's still haunted by the 2023 Final Four. That season, South Carolina had a special group of freshmen, players meant to be the foundation of a dynasty, but they never got to play in the championship game because the team fell in the semifinals. Staley said, "Those words matter. I'm still haunted by it." That's the kind of coach who carries losses differently than most. She wasn't just coaching to win this semifinal. She was coaching to exorcise a ghost from 3 years ago. Every defensive adjustment, every timeout, every substitution was shaped by the memory of watching that 2023 team's season end prematurely. And when you coach with that kind of emotional weight, your players feel it. They play differently. They compete with an edge that can't be taught. It comes from legacy, purpose, and the desire to right what was wrong.
By that particular Final Four, because of the players that we had and the season that we were having, and they got upended, and I never got a chance to play. I mean, I never got a chance to coach the freshies anymore, and I just thought that, and we won it the following year, but that particular group was pretty special, and I'm still haunted by it. I think for me, I just try to, if we ever get the opportunity to be in that position again, which we were today, but we're going to lay it on the line. Okay, we're going to lay it on the line, try to figure out ways in which to win the game, and I thought our kids locked into that. And they don't know that. They don't know that about 2023. But anytime you get here, you want to give it your best shot at winning and advancing.
Our next 3 are going to be Mitch, Doug, then John.
Yeah, Dawn, Mitch North from USA Today. Yesterday you talked about how you were confident that Tanaya was ready for the stage in the bright lights, and she just talked about how you were saying,
The reporter asked Staley about Tanaya Coates, the player who stepped up in the biggest moment. Staley's answer revealed how elite coaches truly evaluate talent. She said, "Some players give you confidence just by their demeanor. You can see in their eyes that they're ready. No question marks, no doubt." Tanaya had that look. Then she added something that gets to the heart of college basketball's individual versus team success debate. Tanaya didn't earn All-American honors this season. She sacrificed individual recognition for the good of the team. Staley made it clear, if Tanaya wasn't getting the personal awards, she would at least be part of a championship team. That's the trade-off elite programs offer. Sacrifice your stats, buy into the system, and we win titles together. Now, let's connect the dots. Caitlin Clark posting about role players leaving Indiana and Dawn Staley praising a player who gave up personal accolades for team success. They're linked by the same principle. Elite programs value loyalty, trust, and the collective over individual glory.